And we on.
Yes, sir.
Back up in this piece once again. Bro, Trey X ain't know. I just had to, what I'm saying, fill that in for him. D-Lo in the building, salute. King of Kings in the building. Man, we're gonna just chop it up, man, about the past weekend fights. Pedraza versus Ramirez. Joey Gonzalez versus what's that? Who was that? Santisma?
Yeah, you're
And,
right.
and Flores versus Montoya, man. On
Man,
ESPN Plus and shit. But D-Lo, you gonna get on the panel. If you watch the fight, you wanna get on the panel anyway. We're gonna chop it up. But yeah, you got a chance to see the fight. We chopping it up in the back, man. What you think about? Let's start off with Joey Gonzalez. What you think about his fight versus Santisma?
man. I mean, I don't even know what to say, man. I think maybe because I just wasn't excited about this weekend. I mean, it's a, I don't expect much from Joey Gonzalez, man. That's I guess keep it a buck. So I'm not gonna lie, I watched it, but I didn't really pay attention to it, man. Let me know how you feel about the fight.
All right, L Dub in the building. Salute, fam. Hey, if y'all want to get on, y'all get on. L Dub, get on, man. Chop it up. I know you watch the fight. You got to take on D-Lo. Hey, but yeah, I watched it. I thought Santisma gave Joey Gonzalez a run. You know what I'm saying? I thought he had his moments, but I think Joey Gonzalez was the stronger fighter. You know what I'm saying? I think that was his advantage in the fight. He didn't get the stoppage, but he definitely his presence definitely was known in the ring. He was definitely knocking Santisma out the pocket, but he kept coming back. Santisma was, and he was landing some good shots. But it was a few times though he rocked Santisma throughout the fight. I think it was a deserving victory, but I think it was a tough fight. I like Joey Gonzalez, man. I think he got heart. You know what I'm saying? And I think he probably can do some things. If he don't, I think it'll be a good ass fight. Uh, the voice of reason. What you think about the fight if you watched it? That's
What,
D'Lo.
what which one was it, Marlo?
Joey Gonzalez versus Santisma, who we started off
Oh
with.
yeah, man. I feel like Joette showed up, man. You know what I'm saying? Showed out. I actually talked about in my video how I felt like I saw Joette Gonzalez grow up halfway through that Navarrete fight. You know, and it's like he took some things that he learned, and you know what I'm saying, about himself from the Navarrete fight, and applied them in this other fight. You know what I'm saying, with Santissima. You know, I just felt like, man, he really stayed focused. You know, he seemed like he was a man on a mission, and he just seemed determined to not allow Santissima to take the play away from him. You know what I'm saying? And he seemed like he was calculated in what he was doing, and when he got him in some trouble, he wouldn't let up. You know what I'm saying? He continued to apply smart pressure, and the things that were working, he didn't get away from them, and he just kept at it until he chipped away at him until the ref saw enough, and called it off.
Yeah,
I didn't expect him to get a stoppage. I mean, I gotta give him extra credit for that, because I picked him to win by decision. I just didn't see a stoppage in that, and I was very impressed.
Lil Rock in the building. Salute. Yeah, I mean he handled his business. That's what I was saying earlier. He definitely was the stronger fighter in the fight. But Santisma definitely was coming back with some shit. You know what I'm saying? It was a late stoppage too, wasn't it, D'Lo? I thought it went the distance, but I
I think it
remember
was like I think it was like 7 or 9, 8, something like that.
Yeah, Mike.
it was a night.
Yeah,
Uh,
what's up with it, man?
salute, bro. What's happening?
Trey X.
Hey, man, that fight was a good fight to me. I really enjoyed that fight. That was one of the best fights of the weekend, in my opinion. Joey Gonzalez, he showed like he a good ass fighter, in my opinion. It shows also how good Shakur Stevenson is to go out there and basically box a shutout against that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But he got the amateur background and stuff. That shit came into play against Santisma, because Santisma actually got off to a good start against Gonzalez. And yeah, Joey Gonzalez. He probably won like what, the first 2 or 3 rounds or something. And then Gonzalez had to chop him down because Santisma came out with some pretty decent hand speed, had a nice little jab working, throwing combinations, you know what
He
I'm
was
saying?
going to the body.
Going to the body with the left hook and shit, ripping shots of the body. at some points, and Gonzalez was having to make adjustments. You know what I'm saying? And then, like the commentators was saying, he started getting Santisma on the end of his punches, and that started working better for him. But I think he showed that he got the potential to be a future champion. I ain't saying that he gonna be like a long reigning undisputed champion, but I think he got action at winning one of them belts if he get an opportunity. He done been through the fire, fighting tough ass fighters like Navarrete, now Santisma, fought Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I saw some shit to be optimistic about in that fight.
Yeah, hey, champ, right? That's the champ in the building. Gil Coles in the building. Salute, bro. 2 times.
Salute.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if anything, he's gonna definitely be a tough opponent, and might get another chance at redemption versus Shakur in the future. He's definitely gonna be around.
Hey, my bad.
Now go ahead. So we can stay on topic.
I was just gonna say I did think that the stoppage was a little premature because it was similar to the Postall and Gary Antoine Russell fight in the sense that it was a stoppage in the fight, but the guy never got knocked off his feet. You know what I'm saying? But he was taking a bunch of punches, headshots in particular from Gonzalez. That is something Gonzalez could work on coming out this fight. Work on increasing your body work. He was pretty much head hunting in this fight. But he was landing. He was landing to the extent that after I think the 8th round, the referee looked over at the doctor and said, "Hey, I'm gonna need you in a minute," or something like that. And then after the round, he had the doctor look at him and he told him, "Hey man, you taking a bunch of headshots. I'm probably gonna stop the fight if you don't, you know what I'm saying, come back with something, show something." And the commentator was saying when the motherfuckers start talking like that, all it takes is one good combination and the referee will stop the fight. Santisma went out there and tried to put a little something on Gonzalez, but Gonzalez landed a few shots and the referee stopped it. So I thought it was premature, but the man did take a lot of damage.
Yeah, it was I think it was the signs on his face after the combination, because he was. I think at first I thought he hurt Joey Gonzalez to the body. Then it turned around on him. Joey Gonzalez went to the body, and he started to back up out the pocket. You know what I'm saying? And put his head down and eat combination. So I ain't like the stoppage, but shit, hey, it is what it is. Hey, what about Gabriel Flores fight? That was another tough fight up in that motherfucker for Flores. Did y'all see that one? What you think about that one, bro?
Yeah, I can't even cap. I ain't see that one, man. I don't remember what the hell I had going on, but I know I took him by majority decision and got them 17 points on the Champ Roast. You know what I'm saying?
I think I did too. Man, I did bad up in that motherfucker this week.
I think I saw that some people were saying that the fight could have went either way or something like that. I'm kind of talking out of ignorance, but I heard some people saying that Montoya gave him a run.
Man, he gave him a hell of a run, man. It could have went either way, but ESPN they wasn't even recognizing Montoya work at all. You know what I'm saying? They were just recognizing it was one sided as far as the commentary goes. But I thought he had a hell of a. It could have went either way to me. Could have been a draw. You know what I'm saying? Flores sharpened his tools, man. It looks like he on the decline.
He pretty goddamn young. He ain't really got no power, man. Like his power is kind of Paulie Malignaggi like a little bit. How many fights he got? About 22 fights for 7 knockouts. I don't see it like as the competition increases, I expect his knockouts to come even less frequently. So I wouldn't be surprised by the end of his career, bro. He probably got like 40 fights with 9 knockouts or something.
And a lot of losses on. J1 Pro in the building. Salute, bro. What's good with it, fam?
Salute.
James Dom in the building. He said, "What's good?
Salute.
What's good, y'all?"
That's the one man that picked against B-Hop, man. That's the man that picked Garcia to beat B-Hop.
Served us crow.
Served us crow that night, man.
Hell yeah. Hey,
I want to say before you move on, I want to say that was a good thing for my boy D-Bid OG though, because I've been on him pretty tough about his prospect getting his ass whooped, and now his prospect came back with a bounce back victory. You know what I'm saying? So salute to my boy D-Bid OG and salute to Stockton, California.
Yeah, I was finna say, I changed my motherfucking pick. I was finna pick Pedraza to outboxing, right? And then right before when I seen that they was fighting up north, I was like, oh hell no, ain't no way this motherfucker finna lose up north. You know what I'm saying? So I went and changed my pick to him stopping Pedraza, but that shit went the distance.
Yeah, I had to go ahead and take it by decision because it was one of the layoff fights. And motherfucker Ramirez hadn't fought since last May. And that's gonna be my last time I'm gonna be saying all that kind of shit. Goddamn, I'm over here waking up the competition. You know what I'm saying?
And you see that shit though, that Pedraza was boxing pretty good though. He was
Well,
boxing.
it seemed like he was defending himself pretty good. I didn't really see him like just out there outboxing and winning the fight. I thought when Ramirez would step to him, it would be some time that Pedraza throw the lead left hand, come back with the right hook, then turn Ramirez or something. But it was more like defending himself instead of going out there to take something from Ramirez. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I seen him like on based on the counters. I think he was landing some good, solid, clean counters. But Ramirez was still in rounds to me. Like it was some round that Pedraza get off the gas and end up caught up in the ropes and being at the end of some combinations. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get up out of there. But other than that, I thought he was boxing pretty good. I just thought Ramirez was too strong. I think them punches, you know what I'm saying, was wearing on him.
But that's why I be talking about it for you. If you got a guy like Pedraza that done fought as low as 130, and this guy Ramirez ain't never fought below 140, and he got the frame to go up to 147 easily, I think that you got to be looking at that. You know, Ramirez is the bigger, stronger man. So that went into my reasoning to pick him and shit. I thought that the scoring was just. They had it like 8-4 for Ramirez, and I thought 8-4 or 7-5 was a good score.
Yeah, me too. I agree with that. That's probably what I had it too, like 7-5 or something like that, 8-4.
I think Hyphy with his troll ass had a 7-5.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
saw him somewhere typing that shit.
Hey, but so what you see from Ramirez? He talking about he want to stay and become champion again and all this and that. But I really don't see him. You know what I'm saying? I think the weight gonna be a problem for one, and to get some stronger fighters. You know what I mean? Like pro grades and um even what's the motherfucker name?
Which one? Was it
Zapata.
Pato?
Zapata, yeah, even Zapata might stop his ass. Zapata looking more comfortable now, you know what I'm saying, at 140. Comfortable in his skin, you know what I'm saying? Stopping shit too. But I think with that weight struggle, you know what I'm saying, with that weight struggle, with that weight drainage throughout the round, like late, he was taking breaks and shit, you know what I'm saying, getting the second win. I think motherfucker versus motherfucker like Progrades or Zapata, that might be a problem, you know what I mean? He might end up getting stopped by these motherfuckers.
See, and that's why I look at the layoffs. It's hard to judge a man coming off. What was that? He fought last May, so was that 9 months? It's hard to judge a man coming off a 9 month layoff. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker ain't in there looking sharp. You can take just about any fighter if they coming off a long layoff like that. For the most of the time, they're not gonna look that good. So I would like to get a look at him in another fight, and then I have a better gauge of him. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about a year from now. I'm talking about another fight in a timely manner, 4-5 months from now, and then I'll feel better assessing him.
Yeah, I was gonna say this, and then judging on that, shit, he was looking like uncomfortable and looking real drained in this last fight. You know what I'm saying? Before this one, I ain't really check out the weigh in or nothing like that, but I know I saw the weigh in versus Taylor, and he looked real drained, man, real uncomfortable.
Ramirez is in a weird position, man. I think he's about to be another one of these dudes. He's too big for 140, but at 147, I don't see him being very effective. He's not strong enough. So it's kind of like I don't see they talking about him sitting there waiting around for Josh Taylor to vacate his belt and move up and all that stuff. But I don't see that happening. He's having trouble keeping at that weight, man. And I think the reason he was able to do what he did to Pedraza is because there was a weight difference. He was able to use a jab and kind of control the fight. So, I mean, yeah, I don't see what he's going to do in the future. I don't know about him staying at 140.
Right?
Yeah, see,
That's
because
not
like, he like an ectomorph. See him and Josh Taylor, they both ectomorphs. And this is the thing about boxing. Like if you an ectomorph and you start low, let's say you start at like 122 or some shit, it's a lot of room for you to grow. That's why you'll see somebody like Mario Barrios start at 122 and then all of a sudden he find himself way up at 47 now because there's room for you to grow. But if you're at 140 and you an ectomorph and your frame is making you move up, once you start getting into 47 and 54, shit changes, man, because these dudes, they not ectomorphs at that weight class as compared to you. Those are mesomorphs and shit up there. So that means that they're gonna be stronger. That the distribution of their muscle mass is gonna be different from you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird dynamic that they in. So yeah, I agree with you, bro. Both of them, Josh Taylor and Ramirez, are in some weird situations, being ectomorphs that are kind of being forced out of their division.
Hey, James Don, get on the panel. He said, man, Josh Taylor, the dirtiest boxer in the game.
I can take that as a slight though. Shit, I like that. Yeah, that
Big,
was one thing I liked about Bernard Hopkins.
big boy boxing in the building. Salute. He said, what's good, team? Hope everyone is well and safe. Most definitely.
Hey, the ref don't say nothing. It ain't dirty, bro. You know what I mean?
I see boxing. He said, yo, you young peace family. Salute. What's good with it, fam? But yeah, I was saying, James Don, get on, tell us about it, about that dirtiness. Josh Taylor just smart to me. That's just his boxing IQ, just on a different level. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I wanted to say too. I wanted to highlight what my boy Yasser Hussein been saying. You know, he from the UK and shit. He a brother though, but he was talking about how Josh Taylor changed coaches 2 fights ago. He went from Shane McGuigan to something Davison. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I don't know shit about UK trainers. I be feeling like once I seen one, I done seen them all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna even lie. Like, but before this situation, I could not name you one UK trainer. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess I be feeling like, why do I need to educate myself on the B team? Shit, it's the A team over here in the United States. But at the end of the day, the truth is, though, they got some, some trainers that's more knowledgeable about boxing than others. He was with Shane McGuigan. He was out there fainting and shit, sliding, gliding, being aggressive, going to the body, all kind of shit. And now since he with Davison, he just barely squeaked by Ramirez, and he just took a butt whipping from Cataract.
Hey,
You know what I'm
Ben
saying?
Davis is a fitness coach, bro. He's not like his boxing IQ. I seen the same thing when he was over Fury. Like he'll get you in shape, but he don't have no kind of in fight. He don't give you no kind of in fight directions that are useful. He just, yeah, I guess he's just a hot name for the UK, but I haven't seen him get any fighter. Like I said, I think the fighters get worse dealing with him. Like Josh Taylor, the last 2 fights, like you said, he just don't look the same. He's not using his whole skill to the point. The last fight, I was looking at him. I was like, I understand being at home, but it almost looked like is this the same guy? Like I was just talking about you
Some
being
clone.
yeah. It's like what's going on? Like last time I checked, I'm sitting here talking you up like you top 5 in boxing, period. And then you look like a dude that can't even like I mean it just looked bad. Like I think he's not that corner stuff is important. Josh Taylor is a perfect candidate for somebody who needs to come over here and get some real coaching so he can become like truly elite.
Or at least go back to Shane McGuigan.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't Ben Davis wasn't that AJ coach?
That was Tyson Fury, coach.
The Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah,
I
that was
just
Tyson.
learned that.
Yeah, that was Tyson Fury.
See what I'm
Hey,
saying?
James Don said he got his tooth pulled. Okay, I got you. He said he got gauze and shit. You about to put one in so he can blow. Then he said he next week when he can talk.
Hey, the dentist tell you don't do that shit too. The dentist say nigga you supposed to go about 2 weeks or some shit without smoking anything. Everybody always smokes something.
For real. Hey, yeah, the link up there though for whoever want to join. Big Boy, Shamzilla.
Oh, I do want to say this though, man. We're gonna have to come up with a clever way of screening motherfuckers because MZ Talk Boxing on his last live stream, a troll came through and got him, man. What he did was he disguised himself as somebody in the chat. And when he came to get on the panel, MZ didn't know. He didn't recognize him. MZ asked him. He was like, "Man, is that you, D-Lo?" And the dude was like, "Yeah, it's me." So MZ let him on, and the dude came on with some sexually explicit stuff, trolling on purpose, trying to get him shut down. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely gonna have to be careful with that shit.
So you mean the 1 week I take off, they infiltrate? All right, I
They
see how they.
infiltrate.
Yeah. Nah, they that's them same motherfuckers. Cause remember that's the one they did that shit to us. Same motherfucker. It's like two people, man, that be subscribing and then they unsubscribe every week, once a week. Same two people.
Yeah,
So
they
probably
got my
Hey,
is
boy.
get a life, motherfucker. Damn,
they
get a
probably is you
girlfriend.
low. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that's why I asked though. The motherfucker be like, man, come on, man, you know it's me. Like, come on, man, y'all making a job harder and shit.
Kangaroo Jack, homie. You know
Yeah,
me.
they gonna have to tell us something that only we would know or something before they get on in this old man. Because I ain't
Yeah,
trying to go through that shit.
but yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, Big Boy be coming through in Shamzilla, so. But that's why I told the last motherfucker, Kangaroo, Napoleon Armstrong in the building. Kangaroo Jack. I think that was his name. Was that
Yeah,
his
that
name?
was
Yeah.
Kangaroo Jack. I just called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ain't never seen him before, man. You know, disrespect, man. That's really just for the motherfuckers that rock with it, that be in here chopping it up with it.
yeah. Hey, Jane Dunn said, no, Sam Zilla say, I noticed there isn't many slick black boxers from the UK. Can you name any? I think Anthony Yard kind of qualifies for that. You know, he
No,
fighting
sir.
at the shell and shit. You can
Yeah.
tell he got like a heavy American influence on his style.
Not
What you about to
enough,
say,
cause
bro?
he not enough, cause he need to learn how to properly train for
That wasn't.
boxing. Motherfucker, a weightlifter.
I understand, but he still like to try to counter and stuff. He in the shell. He like to roll the right hand. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a straight up and down European style that we normally see. So that's why I would say he probably like the one black boxer in the UK that I would consider a little slick.
There you go.
Plus, I got to give him credit too for I know he lost against Kovalev, but to be a guy that only had 15 amateur fights and you going against somebody that was 192 and 20 and a champion, a former champion, whatever the fuck he was, I thought that was pretty impressive what Yard was able to accomplish in that fight. If he didn't get tired coming down the stretch with that big bulky ass frame that you were just speaking on, it's a chance that he probably would have beat Kovalev. Because I remember like in the 8th round, he damn near stopped Kovalev. That
Yeah,
was
I
I
always
think
thought that fight was too soon, man,
I think
because
stamina played the biggest part for Yard.
that's why he lost. Yeah, that's why he
Yeah,
lost, because he didn't
but
last that last part. But yeah,
he
experience
probably
level that was high.
the most athletic UK black boxer. You know what I'm saying? Probably, in my opinion. Like they just don't got that's just a different style and this touch. You would have to just automatically be athletic. You know what I'm saying? It's better for you to be athletic. I mean, in that UK teaching. You know what I'm saying? That UK style, because it's really just basic. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at AJ, like motherfuckers that think you hating when you break down AJ fighting style. You know what I'm saying? But when they start eating crow, it don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker don't even want to come around. But motherfucker tell you AJ just straight up and down. A motherfucker like Usyk, he tailor made for like a motherfucker like Wilder with a straight right hand, because we know he there to be hit. You know what I'm saying? That just, you know what I mean, basic boxing. You know what I mean? His best game is in mid range. Like he's strong. He can stop a motherfucker or knock a motherfucker out. But what about a motherfucker that he can't get to? You know what I'm saying? He can't get in the blender.
Yeah, he just not defensively sound. Like you said, he do have that traditional European style, upright, no head movement. Disaster for a lot of
Yeah, it's
fighters.
like he
Bro,
count
crazy.
he counting on he gonna knock everybody out up in there. No skill at all. Then you get a smaller guy get in there and outbox his ass. He can't even touch this guy. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Usyk.
Yeah, with
Usyk.
them UK fighters, man, they have a defensive flaw woven into their style. Like you ain't supposed to be standing straight up. And like when I look at them, it's like a proud type of style. I'm gonna toe the line and I'm gonna stand up straight and I'm gonna put my dukes up. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't what boxing all about all the time, man. You ain't supposed to man up all the time. Sometimes you got to make yourself a smaller target and shit. Make yourself a little elusive. You know what I'm saying? Well,
It's
that
almost
ain't
like
what they
that. Hey,
do.
remember the old throwback where people had their gloves upside down and they would and they would rotate their hands but not move their head type of shit. It's like the new age version of that shit.
Yeah, that John L. Sullivan looking
Yeah, the
shit.
John L. Sullivan.
You know what I'm saying?
Put your dukes up.
You know, toe the line. What's up to my boy Napoleon Armstrong? What's going down? Oh, bro, I'm gonna jump in the chat for you a little bit, bro. James Dunn said it's been 6 days. Well, shit, put it in the wind then. I didn't even wait 6 days. Hell, when I got home, I put something in the wind. James Dunn said, I like Yard. Wish he could have beat Cover there. Yeah, we just speaking on this shit. Sam Zilla said, yeah, Yard ran out of gas. Facts, goddamn me. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, man. If he had like a more streamlined type of frame, that would be better for him. And I think, hold on, he won the fight by decision? I don't know, especially like a 10 or 12 round fight. It seemed like he be knocking these guys out. And the one time he went the distance, he lost. And that was the fight before his last fight. So that also could be partly because of his stamina and his frame and shit. You know what I'm saying? The longer the fight go, the better it is for his opponent. Or he gonna stop you. Napoleon said muscle's not going to help stamina. Absolutely not. That's something that I noticed about PEDs too. Like when it comes to like steroids and shit, the times I heard about fighters testing positive for steroids, they were usually coming off a loss. Like when I was thinking about Fernando Vargas when he fought against De La Hoya. De La Hoya whooped his ass all over the place, and Fernando Vargas was juiced to the gills. That shit didn't even help him. He done took steroids and got his ass whooped out there fucking around with Oscar.
Hey,
D'Lo said,
Kurt.
"What's up, bro?"
No, I was gonna say the only decision he won is a 4 rounder.
That's why I was saying, like, as far as the 10 and 12 rounds, I wouldn't be surprised with like a 4 rounder. But yeah, and even that right there is when the stamina good. So the longer the fight go, man, if you got some skills, you got action at beating yard. You got action at stopping yard. Like if you Coverdale. Coverdale stopped him with a jab. Y'all remember that shit? Coverdale hit him with a jab in like the 10th round.
Yep.
And that was all she wrote. You remember that shit, bro?
Hell yeah, I was finna say that shit. Like, and it ain't like no hide and stamina, it's stand out. That motherfucker couldn't get up off a jab. He just you know what I'm saying? He knew he was through.
Yeah, that was like round 9. So he didn't even make it 10. Napoleon say, what's good? Salute to you. D in the chat say, the crazy shit was that Canelo said if Yard beat Kovalev, he wasn't gonna fight Yard. I ain't too surprised. Rod X and Champ said Yard needs snaps on the Petro out there. Yeah, he needs some snaps on the Petro, man. Hey, that's something that I gotta give to Anthony Joshua though. When he lost against Ruiz, he did come back with a different looking frame. That motherfucker went to the lab and he cut some of that muscle off. So regardless of how like I feel about his overall boxing skill, I can respect a man that take a loss and go make the correction that he needs to make. You know what I'm saying? I give him credit on that. Salute the Nitty G was going down. Say salute. Napoleon said turtle pie and jelly runts over here. I ain't never heard of now one of them strain. What you got in your gas pump over there, bro? I got this TACP shit, man. That shit had me in a coma before
Got
we
some holy
started live
grail,
stream.
some Scarface. You wanna play rough? Okay.
Yeah. I want to say too, man. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, man. This is why I feel like this is a real boxing channel because our channel goes as boxing goes. Like I was looking ahead in the schedule, and I was like, man, this shit is looking weak as a motherfucker, and that just kind of had me down. Like a lot of people, it don't matter how the action in boxing is going, they gonna talk regardless. But with us, our channel kind of goes as boxing goes. If we got real hot fights on the horizon, it's good energy around here. But when we got that weak shit going on, it kind of toned down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And
Hey,
we got
that's
some
real
weak shit
talk,
all
man.
month.
That's real talk because like this weekend, I was starving for some boxing action so bad. That's why I was telling Marlo I even watched that Chocolatito shit, and I ain't never really watched this dude. I'm like, man, but I had to see some action though. I had to see some fights, you know.
Nigga, I had to go put my back on the corner of the wall and scratch my back because I was scratching for some action after looking at that shit, my brother.
For
Hey,
real.
bro. Hey, it ain't until next month is when it start heating up again. That's when we got Earl Spence and Ugas. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm not paying for no pay-per-view 2 weekends in a row. We got Earl's within 2 weeks or something like that. Earl Spence Jr. April 16th, and then you got Tyson Fury and Dillian White a week or 2 weeks later. Absolutely not.
Well, yeah, don't pay for that Dylan White fight anyway, man, bro. You better, man,
That
you better pay it
motherfucking
like you
cable
weigh it.
bill ain't no motherfucking joke though.
Say, make you put your foot down.
Man, I'm telling you, niggas be like, man, I just paid for this motherfucker. Shit, got another one coming.
Does say the schedule about to be lit. I think it's gonna be lit next month, but the shit that I looked at at a quick glance, it didn't really look very energetic to me, man.
No, that Charlo fight getting postponed, man, took out a huge fight out of that section. You know what I mean? So that's really it. You know, that fight doesn't get
I just
postponed.
posted. L-Dub just put the Showtime schedule up too. I just posted. I think it's on the community page. I reposted it. It's looking pretty. It's looking pretty good. We're gonna have a Charlo fight, the Fulton fight. We're gonna have an Earl Spence fight. I'm gonna look at it and make sure.
Oh, it's about to heat up. But I was just thinking about this month. This month didn't look like it was very energetic. Salute to the historian, Haplotype Zero. What's going down, bro? So, yo, Marlo's Corner, what's up? He said he better go check some. Haplotype. Okay, he talking to L Dub. Hyphy, what's up, bro? The ultimate troll. Say Devin Haney rehydrated to 158.6 pounds versus Santiago 2 years ago. That's middleweight, and he still has feather fists. Napoleon Armstrong said Champ Ross's fantasy picks getting me back into boxing slowly. I don't know none of these motherfuckers. Hey man, that's the benefit of it to me, man. Because you'll find out about some diamonds in the rough. Like when we found out about that Lenier Perro dude from Cuba. That motherfucker beat Frank Sanchez 6 times in the amateurs. Frank Sanchez was 214-6, and all 6 of his losses came to this one man Perro. We learned about him courtesy of Champ Ross, you know what I'm saying? Haplotype, yeah, salute to you. Jane Dunn said, thank God for streaming, goddamn it. Hey, I'm about to get my stream game up, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of in the Stone Ages when it comes to that shit. Where I'm at. L does say March 19th. I hear a little bit of feedback in the background, man. So somebody, you gonna have to go on mute for me, King. L does say March 19th, you have a top ranked card headlined by Berlanga plus Keyshawn Davis. I mean, that all of that shit is good, like as far as keeping up with the young fighters and stuff. But I'm talking about marquee matchups in the main event. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. I'm not saying that it ain't gonna be a good fight that took place every now and then. We just, hey, somebody gonna have to go on mute. King, go on mute for me, bro. But yeah, even like this past weekend, that Joey Gonzalez versus Santizma fight, that was a good fight to me. I thought it was gonna be a good fight going into the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the way that they fought against Navarrete. So I'm not saying it ain't gonna be no good fight every now and then, but I'm talking about main event. Can't wait to this weekend type shit. You know what I'm saying? L does at Virgil Ortiz next March 19th. Yeah, I saw that fight too, but shit, I don't even know about the guy that he fighting. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Be honest with you.
Hey, we got Costa Zoo fighting, Lubin Fundora fighting, Spence Ugas, Charlo Castano 2, and then Benavidez versus Lemieux.
When is that?
Those in May.
Oh, May.
You got March 26th, that's Costa Zoo. April 9th is Lubin Fundora. April 16th is the Ugas Spence fight. And then May 14th is Charlo Castano. And May 21st is Benavidez Lemieux. That's the Showtime card. I don't know what ESPN card lineup looking like, but that's from L Dub. It's on the community post, y'all.
Hey, who is Tim Zoo fighting? I think he's supposed to be fighting a veteran.
Who we fighting? Terrell Gosher.
Yeah. That's why I thought you fighting a veteran. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty interesting. I guess you could say that's like a step up fight for Tim Zoo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to Law. He posted that. He had sent me that, and I posted it. I thought I posted it, but I know I shared it on Twitter or something. But I just put it in the community tab. Salute hyphy. Yeah, man, y'all be the link is up there, man. Y'all want to get on the chop it up. Salute Haplo, Chris Ray, blessings, fam.
They
But yeah,
good. They can type them comments too. L does. So we have a showbox card this Friday, March the 11th. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all, man. Those showbox cards, like I really enjoy them hoes. And it's like one of the times that I get to just watch boxing and not necessarily call it because we call fights on Saturday. So Friday is my time to kind of just chill, smoke my weed, and watch the fight and listen to other people commentary. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still learning boxing, and I like to listen to the pros and shit, give their perspectives. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never claimed that I know everything, man. So I really do enjoy listening to other people's perspectives, especially when it comes to calling the fight, man. So I definitely enjoy them showbox cards. Shamzilla said, I have a whole newfound respect for Earl. That man said, F a tune up, let me at him. And that's I'm glad that you said that because we got to keep that in perspective. If Earl Spence Jr. was trained by Virgil Hunter, he would not be fighting Ugas in his first fight coming off a layoff and an injury. You know, Virgil Hunter is the guy that made Andre Ward fight against Sullivan Moreira and Alexander Brand or whatever the fuck his name was to get acclimated and plus to knock some ring rust off before he fought against Kovalev. Earl Spence Jr. is foregoing all of that and going straight into a fight against a Cuban with over 300 amateur fights and an Olympic bronze medalist. And I heard some people saying that Ugas said that he's been in the ring with better fighters than Earl Spence. And some people were saying that they didn't understand why he would say that. And some people were saying he really didn't mean that. I think he did mean that. He has a friend named Emilio Correa, and he is the son of a legendary Cuban fighter, Olympic gold medalist, Pan American gold medalist, and the junior, he's a Pan American gold medalist. He's an Olympic silver medalist, AIBA World Championship bronze medalist. He's a hell of a fighter. As a matter of fact, he knocked out Sean Porter in 2 rounds. That's Yordenis Ugas's Cuban teammate. And they fought in different tournaments together. They're around the same age, both of them like 36 years old. They've been knowing each other since they was kids, and they used to do a bunch of training and sparring and stuff together. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Ugas feel like being around people like Correa is tougher than Earl Spence as far as skill for skill. Earl Spence Jr. is a hell of a fighter. He a bad man. But when it comes to skill for skill, coming from the Cuban boxing school, I think a case can be made that Ugas has been in the ring with fighters with better skills than Earl. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of Cuba.
And I don't even feel that's a slight him saying that either. Like you said, that you talking about international experience in the Cuban school where we know that some of the best fighters as far as skill come out of. So it's not like it's, there's probably fighters, there's dudes. I mean, like you said, if you judge on skill, now there's other intangibles that's going to matter importantly into the fight. But I don't see why that would be a slight. I mean, you're gonna have some high level guys in those schools. I mean, let's keep it real.
Yeah, there's skill for skill. I ain't saying like a better overall fighter, because I think Earl will probably beat Correa in a professional fight over 12 rounds. But skill for skill, it's probably comparable. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Correa knocked out Sean Porter in 2 rounds. And I think they was wearing headgear. So obviously he got something. He the only person to ever knock out Sean Porter before Crawford did, but he was the only person to knock his ass out in 2 rounds for sure. So I think that Ugas is gonna come fight hard. And if Earl beats this guy coming off a layoff, coming off an injury, he deserves a lot of credit for that, man. Don't listen to these damn Crawford fans to make it seem like, oh, he ducking, he should have done this. This is gonna be a hell of an accomplishment if this man goes in here and pulls this fight off. It's 50-50 for me. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I see. Because the layoff, we got the injury. Ugas can fight like a motherfucker. He come from a straight boxing background, like a deep amateur background, all that kind of shit. I think it's gonna be tough, man. And I'm gonna give Earl some props if he go out there and beat him. Let me. Where was I in the chat?
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, let me. It was I was one of them people that said that I didn't think that's what he meant. Now he might have reiterated again, but see, when I heard him say it, he talked about, and I give everything you said is, you know what I'm saying, right on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's probably that a case can be made for all of that. But the reason I said that what it was taken out of context because people took that and then they just chopped it off. But then he kept talking and he said that he agreed that Spence is gonna bring the toughest, most intense challenge that he's seen inside the ring since he's been fighting in 6 years. However, it's not the toughest fight of my life. And then he talked about bigger fights and more difficult fights still to come. Talked about 9 years without being able to see his mama since he left Cuba. Talked about his only son having autism and struggling every day to learn how to speak. Talked about having alopecia. He talked about, all his struggle. He talked about being an activist and a patriot. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said that he was talking about just a fight, just in general, that it just wasn't for the things that he's already dealt with in his life, that it really wasn't that big a deal to him. And it's like, so that was why I felt like, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people didn't hear the whole thing and they just took it to mean that he was dismissing Spence as an opponent, which, like you said, even if he did say it and he was talking about, the people that he's fought in the ring and trained with and things like that over in Cuba, that ain't really a slight at Spence. That's just saying that this guy done seen some top level guys.
Definitely seen some top level guys, and we also must remember his nickname is 54 Milagros, and I think Milagros mean miracle, don't it, bro?
Mean what?
Miracle.
I think so.
Yeah, so I think he's saying 54 miracles is his nickname.
Iceberg Nerd, salutations, fam. Salute, bro. It's
Salute.
good.
Yeah, I think his nickname is 54 Miracles, man. 54 Milagros. So that makes sense what you're saying. But if I just put it in a vacuum in the boxing perspective, I think it's some credibility to what I was saying. L Dub said Regis fights March the 19th. Goddamn. See, that's the thing though. Like when you naming these fighters, like you said, Virgil Ortiz. Now you saying Regis Progress. You just naming one star fighter. You're not even naming their opponents because you probably assume that we won't know who the fuck they are. So that's why I say the action is just not no top level shit. It's gonna be like some B level, maybe C plus type shit, you know what I'm saying? But not no A level type shit. But we got the A levels type shit coming soon, coming next month and coming in May and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait. If you say David Benavidez said he knew Canelo would duck him, takes a duck to know a duck because he's surely ducking David Morrell Jr. I guess it's kind of hard for me to say that somebody ducking David Morrell Jr. right now.
Yeah, I don't think I think he done popped up on the scene now. Everybody want it. Look, you can't be ducking just because somebody appears and immediately says your name. I mean, we talking about cohesive effort where a year goes by and dudes are mandatories. Those are ducks. Just because you don't immediately sign a fight with a guy because he pops up and gets a good knockout, and now everybody's like shining on Morrell. That ain't no duck.
How many fights he got? About 5 fights?
Thank you. Put some work in. Jesus.
I think he'll be a hell of a fight with David Benavidez. I would love if they were to fight, but I just can't say that he ducking him yet.
Hey, speaking of that, like, man, let me get it right. Somebody had brought up a point and shit, and I thought that shit was kind of crazy. Flat Out TV, shout out to Flat Out TV. That's Deacon on Instagram. But anyway, he was talking about how motherfuckers be having the missing screw, saying that Canelo, because he the cash cow, beat all kinds of goddamn pound for pound fighters to become the pound for pound king or whatever. Like motherfuckers like name a pound for pound fighter that Canelo had beat. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers really can't. Motherfucker really can't name him. And I thought that was a good point because first thing motherfucker brought up was Charlo. Like they was like, who Charlo beat? And motherfucker never said Charlo was pound for pound or Boo Boo was pound for pound. But one thing they did was work their way to the mandatory spot. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they became talks to fighting Canelo or GDG. Not because, you know what I'm saying, they just was calling them out. It's because they earned the spot. You know what I mean? Motherfucker like who he fought? Like man, they working they the mandatory. Well, at least Boo Boo was guaranteed the mandatory, and Charlo was the mandatory. Both of them was mandatories, and they both ducked up out of the division because they didn't want to fight their mandatory. But when they came to another division and they fought their mandatory, it was never the conversation about who this guy beat. It was all about that's his mandatory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of that's why the fans
Fact.
and other content creators be up in that shit that really don't follow the sport. They just doing it for the content or just for the conversation. But they be looking weird when and they don't let those voices be heard. You know what I'm saying? That really know what the fuck they talking about. You know what I mean? Because motherfucker never said that the motherfuckers was pound for pound, but they definitely earned a shot at the title. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother conversation than pound for pound, right?
I
What y'all
thought
think?
it. Oh my bad.
Hell, Marlo ain't none of them other cats pound for pound. None of them other cats ain't pound for pound either. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
none of them arguments they make hold weight, man. Every last one of them could be shot down because it's examples of guys who didn't have to do near as much and just got an opportunity just because, you know what I'm saying, Canelo chose to fight him. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing is, hell, at one point, if I'm not mistaken, Canelo was actually on Andre's mandatory down at 54. And didn't even, wouldn't take the fight. You know what I'm saying? Andre called him out for it. And then and eventually he ended up fighting what's the boy one of them Smith brothers after Andre got stripped and that dude got the title. You know what I'm saying? And then he also pulled James Kirkland off the couch and fought him. You know what I'm saying? What James Kirkland did. I was glad Kirkland got the opportunity, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a fight that Canelo knew he would win. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy, man. And
Yeah,
even to think about Canelo was gonna fight Paul Williams, and Paul Williams one of my favorite fighters of all time. But Paul Williams at that point, now don't get me wrong, I'd have been pulling for him, but I wouldn't have put no money on him. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't that far removed from that devastating knockout loss to Sergio Martinez. And even Paul Williams himself said after he had his wreck and everything, he said that he feel like, maybe that wreck happened because if he'd have took that Canelo fight, that's a man that's paralyzed now. And he said that, maybe he'd have came out worse, you know what I'm saying, if that fight didn't go well. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, so that just go to show the selectivity of Canelo Alvarez and, how he'll pick guys at the right time, but stay away from other guys.
Yeah, he made that mandatory with that Ibram dude or whatever. Like automatically, when you take
You
that mandatory, you
you
can, yeah,
you
Ildrum. You can never. If somebody, when you hear somebody say who has he fought as a reason for somebody not taking a mandatory position, them people don't know shit about boxing. Like immediately, it's first time somebody, oh well, who has he fought? What are you talking about, you clown? Nobody's fought nobody until they fight somebody. It's stupid. That's the stupidest argument I ever like. When did that start? Like being some kind of defense. You can't
Eric
fight
R.
dudes that never fought nobody and then try to use that as a defense, as a joke.
Eric R. Salute, fam.
Hey, that's just the man I wanted to see right there.
Hey,
Came here trying to give me some advice on how to pick these Champ Ross fights, and this motherfucker at the bottom of the list this week, boy. Hey man, you gotta have some respect for the reigning defending champion before you come here talking about you gonna teach me something. Y'all go ahead.
hey, and as a boxing fan, we need to
Hey,
not us as particular. I'm just saying it needs to be some more. No matter who your motherfucking what's the name is, it needs to be some more respect on the mandatories, man. Because motherfucker be talking all that shit. Some of these mandatories need to they be getting ducked. You know what I'm saying? They work their way to a shot.
and
Go ahead.
I like what Gary Russell said a while back about the mandatory, man. He talked about, he said, when guys were ducking him and he couldn't get the fights he wanted, unifications and everything else, and couldn't get the Leo Santa Cruz fight. He said he had too much respect for these guys that put themselves in a mandatory position not to fight them. And he said, because basically your mandatory is supposed to be the next best guy besides the other champions. So it's a lot to be said about that, man. But I understand that a lot of these fighters, they pick and choose what mandatory they want to fight. Canelo, Triple G, because when it ain't even just about the Charlo situation. Triple G and Canelo both got stripped for not fighting Derevyanchenko. Both of them. and but they both go run the week mandatories, wide open.
Right.
Yeah. All right, I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
jump in the chat a little bit. Napoleon said Frank Sanchez gonna have to pop that motherfucker. Sound like to me. You ain't gonna be whooping my ass like that. Yeah, six ass whoopings from one man is pretty excessive. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that motherfucker Perro. Hey,
Fucked up.
hey, Perro pretty slick. Perro pretty slick though, man. He a southpaw. He got them two-story combinations. Like he'll have combinations that involve the head and the body. So it's kind of tricky because sometimes he might step in with a lead right hook and then come back with a straight left hand to the chest or to the stomach or something. Then sometimes he might step in with a lead right hook to the body and come upstairs with a left hand. Like it's real tricky looking. So I can't understand why Frank Sanchez lost to him, especially in the amateurs. If you only going 3 rounds, it might be different in the pros. But hey, a tricky southpaw like that, Cuban, got some pretty decent power. It didn't look like he had no straight up 9 or 10 out of 10 type power, but it looked like it was a solid 6 or 7. I can see why he was getting on Frank Sanchez's ass.
Hey, let me touch on that for just a minute. Do y'all remember that Cuban heavyweight named Orlando? I think it was Orlando Solis. He came over with Laura and Rigo. I think Gambo. I think all them guys kind of turned pro around the same time.
That sounds
Y'all,
familiar.
any of y'all remember him?
It sounds
He
familiar.
fought with Tally Klitschko. He fought with Tally Klitschko for the championship and lost.
Is he bald
I think
headed?
his leg got messed up. I don't remember he was bald headed or not. He had a problem keeping his weight under control though. You know what I'm saying? Like he eventually started, just getting out of control with his weight and conditioning. But that guy, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. I had to go back and look it up, but it seemed like when I used to look back at his him and Luis Ortiz's amateur record, what you can find online, it looked like every time him and Luis Ortiz fought, he would beat Luis Ortiz and advance. Because I think that dude ended up winning a gold medal. But so sometimes when you have those guys, man, you might have 2 good fighters, but one of them just got the other one number down there in the amateurs, and they fighting out of that same program, kind of like how they said Pedraza ran Kovalev out of the Russian program. Sometimes that's just what it is, but they don't take away from how good the other guy is. And maybe in the pros it don't shape out that way. But I tell you, 6 out of 6, it ain't looking good.
Especially when you got 214 other victories, but all 6 of your losses came to this one man. It would be hard for me to sleep at night.
Yeah, you could accidentally win at least one of them fights. God damn, 6. I won't
6 for 6.
Hey, that's when you come to the fight after number 3. You like, damn, this nigga again.
Man, Michael Jordan.
But look at Keyshawn Davis. Look at Keyshawn Davis and that Cruz kid.
Yeah, that's true.
Keyshawn Davis is the goods, but he couldn't find a way to get past that Cruz. I think it's like 0 for 4.
But hold on, let's be fair though, because Cruz is a more developed and mature fighter. What he about 25 or something, right?
Yeah, he grown
26
man.
and Keyshawn like 20. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying. I'm just saying he was a bad matchup.
I put more weight into the other countries. They send out more developed fighters than the United States. We send out kids. These folks send out grown men. When you got Cuban going against Cuban, we can't even give them that excuse. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a discrepancy in age between them folks like Keyshawn and Cruz. So I just be looking at that. We seeing kids. Let me jump in the chat a little bit. L Dub said, my bad, Trey, or something like that. I tend to go overboard with that knowledge. My bus. I don't even know what the hell you talking about, but any knowledge that you put out there is some good shit. We need that knowledge to offset all the motherfuckers that don't know shit about boxing and stay running their mouth all the time. So talk that shit. Sam Zilla said, I was studying Ugas' style. One of his greatest weapons is his right hand. He loops that thing around the glove slick, fast, and hard as hell. Well, if you look at that Emilio Correa dude, man, he throw the right hand the exact same way, bro. They got that looping right hand, and that's a good weapon when you fighting a fighter that's in the high guard. See, one thing, like I be talking about the difference between fighting a southpaw and an orthodox fighter, but when you have a southpaw that fights out the high guard, the same principles that you use to beat a high guard orthodox fighter are still in play. You loop the shots around the guard, and you come up the middle. So if you got a high guard type of fighter like Earl, like to be in the high guard sometimes, if you get to looping them shots, you can land punches on it. You know what I'm saying? And that looping right hand is something that does kind of worry me. If Earl didn't have the high guard going on, I wouldn't be worried about it. I would be like, because normally when you fight the southpaw, you want to come with the straight right hand. You want to come straight up the pike with that right hand. But when you got the high guard fighter, you don't really want to come straight up the pike. You want to loop it. And he do got a good looping right hand. So I think that's a weapon that he can utilize going into this fight. I ain't saying that's gonna make him successful, but I do see some punches that he can land going into the fight. Iceberg Nerd salutation. Shamzilla said, I can't respect Canelo, especially when I believe he microdosing clenbuterol, goddamn me. I will say this, I ain't just no Canelo superhero motherfucker, but I do got some respect for Bivol going into the fight. 268 and 15 amateur, AIBA bronze medalist. That's the same thing that Gary Russell won, a bronze medal in the AIBA World Championship. So that pretty much showing me that he's a blue chip type of guy. He was over there having trouble with people like Beterbiev, but or Better Beef, however you say that shit. Well, Better Beef, he really like a weight class above them, really. Like even right now, he fighting at light heavyweight. He look like he can go to cruiserweight. I don't even understand how he be making that weight. He just look like a big man in a smaller man's body. Like when I look at him, so he looked way stronger than Kovalev and Bivol and all that kind of shit. So I can see them losing to him, but I still think that Bivol is like the first blue chip opponent that Canelo has had in a long time. He has not fought anyone with a 268 and 15 amateur record besides Kovalev. Kovalev was 192 and 20, but Kovalev was on the decline when he fought against Canelo. Kovalev was about 36 years old. You know what I'm saying? And plus, he had already been knocked out before. He got knocked out by Ward. He damn near got stopped by Yard. So, you know, that wasn't the crusher right there. But so I wouldn't consider him blue chip. Bivol, he ain't really been through that shit yet. You know what I'm saying? He still got some tread left on the tire. Like I said, he got the amateur pedigree and shit. I know that people been saying that he been slowing down lately. He hasn't been looking as good. But I feel like all the opponents then kind of slowed down. Like Charlo, I think that Bivol is a harder fight than Charlo. As a matter of fact, I've been saying that shit, and I just saw a video before we did this live stream from Kenneth Sim Jr., and he said he feel like Bivol is a tougher opponent than Charlo too. The Charlo slowing down, Charlo cooling off. That's not the same Charlo that was at 154 with the Mohawk or whatever that shit was. Y'all know that hairstyle he had when he knocked out J-Rock. That was a fucking monster. This Charlo right here, this is a Charlo that just went the distance against Montiel and was a 40-1 favorite. To me, that's a sign that you're cooling off. If I was Canelo,
I think a little of the hunger is going away too, bro. I just think like you said, he a little fed. He got a little older now. He's not the same Charlo.
he don't even act mean no more. Man, I remember the Charlo used to act mean. They cuss out everybody. You know what I'm saying? The energy be high. As soon as they come in the building, it was just crazy. Now when I see him, he be doing live streams. He be smiling and shit. And he just be cheesing and skinning and grinning. And it just don't look like that same killer to me. So it just seemed like he cooled off. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion, man. So I think out of all the opponents that done cooled off, because I'm not gonna take this shit away from Canelo. Canelo ducked these people. That's the reason they cooled off. Canelo could have fought these people at 154, 160, whatever. He didn't. He let them cool off. But out of all the cooled off opponents, I think that Bivol is at the top. I ain't saying necessarily the very top, but I do think he is up there though. So I think that Bivol got a chance to beat him. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Trey.
really leaning towards taking him. Go ahead.
Hey, you know what else, man? But Beterbiev is already 37 years old.
Oh yeah, I know Beterbiev, he up there. That was one reason why I felt like that Canelo will fight him like a year ago or something like that, because a year ago when I was saying this, because you know that's kind of more of Canelo's what he used to. Somebody that's in their mid to upper 30s, 35, 36, 37 type. You know what I'm saying? But I guess he's
It's,
like, hey man, let me let them cool down just a little bit more.
hey, speaking of that though, speaking of the statement of who has he fought, what's the signature win for that dude that he's out the? I mean, it's like you can't. I don't want to hear this Eastern European dudes that they brought in bulk. Like, dude, like, okay, I hear you talking about, but like, can we think of a signature fight? Is there a fight that you looked at and was like, man, that's an amazing fight? I watched that over and over again.
Well, you talking about with Bivol?
Yeah.
I mean, he ain't just had no virtuoso performances. He done had some fights that he
I
looked
think
pretty
he
good to me
dominated.
though.
He
Yeah,
dominated Joe
Sullivan
Smith
Barrera.
Jr. I know some people don't think a lot of that. Yeah, and Sullivan Barrera, right?
Yeah, that was early on. So I thought that was pretty impressive. You know what I'm saying? But since then, he hasn't really been on that type of shit. But it seemed like the competition ain't been that good. Shit, some people get
Since
bored.
he moved to it's like, what is it like? He fight on the zone? Like
Yeah, I think he
the
do.
zone has like a new version of the Top Rank diet. It's like guys will go over there and they be having fights, and I've seen him on a few of them. There's barely anybody there, but he ain't fighting. They don't like they got setup fights over there. They don't have no challenging next level fight. People can say what they want about PVC, but you was gonna get put in there tough. That's why a lot of their fighters got L's and knockouts on their records because they were in there with, I mean, heavy like strong competition. That elite level competition, but these high level C plus B minus fighters, the zone, man, they be fighting guys. You be like, who's this dude? Like, I mean, literally, that's what it is over there. And I think that makes it so that these guys start cooling down. I was saying that about Andre for a little bit, but like I said, he got some tough fights he's about to be taking. But it's the same thing with him. They feed you opponents, but this is like, I think after a while, if you keep fighting at C level fighters, I think you lose some of your skill in the process.
Oh, you can develop bad habits and stuff, man. Like if you can get away with pulling straight back and you can get away with admiring your work, that shit do become a bad habit. Once you get in there with somebody that's good enough to take advantage of that, you'll start taking punches that you weren't anticipating. You know what I'm saying? But just looking at Canelo's opponents, like if I compare Bivol to Caleb Plant, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, Danny Jacobs, all that kind of shit, I think he better than them guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say this is probably one of the toughest opponents that he could have chose as far as the champions and all that kind of shit go. It ain't better. I think Better B would probably be the toughest, but I think Bivol is probably like a top 3 opponent. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm saying, it's considering that everybody done pretty much cooled down. Because some people saying, well, he ducking Charlo. I think Charlo is an easier fight at this time. You know what I'm saying? That's the little point that I was making. I'm gonna jump in the chat a little bit. Sam Zilla, Eric R, Hyphy say Paul Williams was shot by then. The loss to Martinez in the lower fight, absolutely, man. That Martinez knockout is still shocking. When I think about it, it just came out of nowhere. Napoleon said, in this era, you get more title shots in big fights if you have losses and show vulnerability because these dudes look for light touches. You also got to look at the flip side too. Once a man takes a loss, they throw caution to the wind and they start looking for big fights, because they ain't trying to protect no O. So it's both sides of the coin. On one side, you got people that won't like touches, so they wouldn't mind fighting a guy with a few losses. And on the other side, once a guy takes a few losses, they're more receptive to getting fights because they ain't trying to protect the O like a lot of these guys. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like Josh Taylor, because he didn't seem like he was trying to protect his O. He was trying to go out there and fight for some glory, even though he was undefeated. He fought like he already had a loss, in my opinion. But I guess he got a reason to now, since he kind of got like a moral loss.
A moral loss.
That's what it was, moral loss. You guys asked what? Napoleon said Martinez versus Williams, one of the best knockouts ever, up there with Ann Wolf versus Vonda Ward or whatever her name was. Yeah, that shit came out of nowhere, man. That short little looping left hand. I don't even know how to describe the punch. You know what I'm
But Paul
saying?
Williams had iron jaw, man. For him to get knocked out like that, that I was shocked by. Paul Williams, like people want to talk about a boogeyman or somebody getting avoided. That dude was a monster. 147 to 160. Dude's like 6 feet tall. and he was busy in every fight. I was shocked that Martinez did that to him. I was like, damn, like get like. So I think that was just years of that chin getting hit, and it finally just cracked. So here come Canelo trying to swoop his ass up in there.
I think it's just kind of weird.
That's also a testament of what Trey X said about the ectomorphs.
Yeah, he's definitely an ectomorph. And I think it's weird that you will have fighters like Paul Williams, even Sebastian Fundora, Jared Hurd, them big tall guys, they be having pretty solid chins. And then when you go to the heavyweights, when you start seeing them tall guys like Michael Grant and all them motherfuckers, they chins be trash. I wonder what's the difference. Like, you can be a tall middleweight or a tall light middleweight, but if you're a tall ass heavyweight, your chin don't really be that good for the most part, except for somebody like Wilder. I think he probably got an underrated chin, even though he done got stopped in the last 2 fights or some shit. But he got a pretty solid chin, especially for his height.
The neck is too long.
Or the long neck.
We
Eric Garland, I hear you, X. Sun shines on the dog ass every once in a while, goddamn me. I see you, Napoleon, with the Vaughn Award. L-Dub said he know about that Solis motherfucker. Eric Gar said, yeah, the old Charlos was like Hulk and Animal, the Road Warriors. Jamal is like Charles Barkley in the old Spice commercials now. He do be doing a bunch of skinning and grinning on them damn live streams, man. He literally just be looking in the camera and smiling. I was like, man, who is this dude, man? That ain't the dude that I used to see. That used to just look like he was a animal out there. You know what I'm saying? Eric Carr said, you right about PBC putting fighters in tough. Oh yeah, I've been saying that since the inception of the PBC, man. When I saw all them fights, those infancy fights that was going that was draws, I was like, damn, they put you in tough. And it wasn't like a robbery draw. They were justified draws. I was like, yeah, man, that's something about the PBC. They put you in tough. And we done had some tough matchups with the PBC. And another thing too, y'all remember when Michael Fox, when he went out there and whooped the shit out that Maestre and he got robbed, and that's the reason why the WBA said they're gonna start reducing these belts. He fighting this weekend. He fighting some guy that's 19-0 with a deep amateur background. I can't remember, his name was Shelley Hewitt or something like that, man. I can't pronounce that shit. So, hey, man, y'all be on the lookout this weekend to see what's going to go on with Maestre. He coming off a robbery victory. He might get his ass whooped this weekend.
Yeah, Maestre ain't got himself nothing.
He ain't got nothing to do with it, man. He old, too. He about 30, 35 or something. But, hey, his opponent that he about to fight, he 36. But he is a southpaw, though. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that he might be a little tricky for Maestre. I ain't just trying to drop a alarm clock in the graveyard and wake everybody up, but I'm leaning towards picking old boy against Maestre. Let me see where I'm at in the chat.
I already did pick him.
Oh, you already picked him? Yeah, I'm probably be up in there with you, man. I'm gonna be in that number with you. Yeah, I'm gonna be in that number. Eric Gar said those bricks and Margarito gloves was the beginning of the end for Paul Williams, in his opinion. That's a good point. I forgot about that fight the motherfuckers had. Hyphy said Wilder chin is trash too. He got knocked out twice by a guy who he said didn't punch as hard as his wife. I mean, he can go out there and say what he want to say, but like in boxing, it's not always just about how hard a motherfucker hit. If he's able to go out there and tire you out and then start putting some solid shots on you, that's all it takes. If a man go out there and wrestle you, on you and shit, wring your ass out like a towel out the laundry or something, and get you tired to where you can barely even stand up, and then land a few shots on you, your ass to get out of there.
Yeah, so anybody 270 plus pounds, if they sit on their feet and they're a boxer, can knock you out. I mean, yeah, that's just bravado dudes talking shit. I mean, let's keep it real.
Yeah, I don't think Wilder trashed his chin. I done seen him take some pretty solid shots from Bermain Stavern. When Bermain Stavern fought Wilder, Stavern would hit hard back then. He hit Wilder with a left hook. I just knew Wilder was gonna go down, but he ate that shit. Came back with the jab. You know what I'm saying? I
Hey,
think
and
he got a
speaking of
solid
that,
chin.
hey, speaking of Stavern, like because I was watching a replay today, man, and just like how the drug game messes up boxing, man. Povetkin messed up a fight with Stavern because he got popped with PEDs, and you like a lot of people discount Stavern as a champion and stuff like that. But you know, we could have found out how good he was when you guys were talking about this Povetkin dude, but because he was always cheating, fights didn't happen. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, he served me crow because I thought Areola was gonna beat him. He went out there and hitting Areola with some hard shit. Boy, god damn, that boy was landing some hard shots on Areola. When L Dub said Taras Shelestuk or something like that, Ukrainian Olympian. He fought Spence in the amateurs. Okay, I ain't know he fought Spence in the amateurs. Ain't too surprising though. He's 36 years old, I think I saw. Southpaw, I think they got him listed like 5'8" or something. Yeah, I know they ain't got nothing to do with him fighting Spence. I'm just thinking out loud of who I saw that this guy was. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't actually watched him fight yet. I gotta go pull up a little tape and see what he fighting like. But just looking at him on paper, I think he probably gonna go out here and win this fight. But we gonna see, man. We gonna see. Napoleon said that's this nice little old split chat. Yeah, I got me a I don't know if you no, it ain't no split, but I got me some disposable little carts and shit. Got my eyes over here tight as a motherfucker. I'm looking Chinese. Napoleon just erased the comment. Eric R said that wasn't Wilder's chin, that was his ear in the Abdullah Oblongata that was giving the motherfucker some problems. Yeah, that's a good point too. It seemed like that might be like a book on him a little bit. If you hit him in the ear, you can knock his balance off because he got hit in the ear in both fights. You know what I'm saying? One time just sent me something. I don't know what he didn't send me though. Eric R said that was I read that Raymond Knight was so it said although hit puts miles on the odometer, absolutely. And also the not just the punches, man, it's the physicality. Like Anthony Joshua could learn a lot from Tyson Fury. Look at Tyson Fury when he fought against the damn the good ass cruiserweight, the brother that dropped Tyson Fury, Cunningham. He was leaning on Cunningham, getting real nasty and real physical with him, and that was something that I liked about Tyson Fury. So once you get to putting that shit on Wilder, you leaning on him, putting your weight on him, you making him hold both of y'all up. He got to support his weight and your weight because you leaning on you putting 270 pounds on him. That's a lot of wear and tear. And you landing shots to the side of the head, to the temple. Anybody that took a side shot to the ear or to the temple, you know how that shit feels.
Hey, that's why I said if Wilder got past Fury, it wasn't no doubt that he'd be the best heavyweight in the world. That was the biggest, you know what I'm saying, most skilled heavyweight in the division, and it was a tough task. You know what I'm saying? He damn near accomplished it, but ain't too many motherfuckers that gonna be able to lean on Wilder that's that big. You know what I'm saying? Fury motherfucker, and he got that big on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
He
So
might be the only one in the division that can do it because the only one taller than him too. That's the
yeah,
thing about it.
that was his game plan. Was to do that. Exactly what Trey said. Wear him down. You know what I'm saying? And stop him.
Yeah. Napoleon said that his equilibrium wasn't right. Yeah. L Dub said he picking Maestro this weekend, man. I ain't mad at you, bro, but when I looked at Maestro, it just didn't seem like he had nothing to me. It just shit just looked weak. I will say though that the dynamic is gonna be different because it's one thing fighting against Michael Fox that's what 6'3" or some shit. I don't even know how tall he is. I know he real tall though. What about 6'5"? He's 6'4" or 6'5". I know that's different as opposed to fighting against a 5'8" guy. So this is a different matchup. But this guy is a southpaw. But like I said, I haven't actually watched him fight. I just been looking at him on paper. So I got to go back and do my research, you know what I'm saying? But just looking at Maestre, though, I just was not impressed with this man. For him to have so many amateur fights and stuff, some amateur accomplishments, I was thinking, man, it might be some home cooking with his amateur record. He just didn't seem like he had nothing. Napoleon said Lomachenko on Usyk boy ain't used to that Maestre pressure and power. Inside six Maestre, go the distance, old boy wins. Okay, so he said he agreed with one time. They leaning towards Maestre. Maestre do come forward and apply a lot of pressure and shit. So I guess y'all could be right about that. I got to go back and check the dude out though, man. For right now, I don't know, man. I remember that Maestre and Fox fight, man. I was not impressed with Maestre, and I picked Maestre in that fight too. I was happy in the motherfucker we got the gift decision. Yeah, that might have been one of the reasons I won on the Champ Ross. Shit, hey, everybody need a break every now and then. That was a break for your boy Trey X. Eric Arson Wilder got nothing to hang his head over. I hope he come back, beats AJ and Usyk, and then run it back for a fourth fight. Goddamn me, that should be player. I ain't gonna lie. It seemed like he already retired to me though. You know, because like when I hear, like when I read the articles and shit, and when he say that he gonna go take some ayahuasca and he gonna ask the ancestors what he need to do, that sounds like a motherfucker that's already retired. He didn't have to talk to the ancestors 5 years ago, and now we thinking about taking ayahuasca. I don't think it take all that, man. That sounds like a motherfucker that got one foot in retirement and the other one on the banana peel. Just being real. Napoleon said, y'all know the powers that be, one the Ukrainian champ, Eastern European, goddamn me. I was thinking that too, as far as this fight with the guy that's fighting Maestre, because he is from Ukraine. I did see that on BoxRec. I was like, man, if it's a close fight that goes the distance, will he get some sympathy votes? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What y'all think? Y'all think if the Ukrainians in some tough fights, close fights, they might get a few sympathy?
Hey, if this the same dude that fought Earl Spence, I think he beat Earl Spence or he is this the same dude that I'm thinking about? He a pressure fighter too, ain't he?
Oh, you must be thinking about that Zamka boy, because he a southpaw too that fought Earl in the amateurs. He was a pressure fighter.
Okay, probably.
Earl got a few southpaws. He fought him. He fought Serek Sepial. Sepial was more like a pure boxer though. He was on his toes. He had that Manny Pacquiao type of footwork where he dart in and out and shit. But Zamka boy was a pressure fighter. He come forward and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I guess that's gonna be interesting, man. I mean, the dude do got a background. I got to take into account that I got some people that know boxing, and I respect their opinions. And they say they going for Maestre, so I'm gonna go take a look at this shit. I think what day did they fight? Did they fight on Friday? Because D'Lo said he made the pick already. It seemed like I made the pick already too. But I don't know how long you plan on doing this live stream, bro.
They fight. They fight on the 11th, man.
So that's Friday. So yeah, that's why I had already made the pick. So I got to go back and take a closer look. I just made the pick based on paper.
See, we've been on the hour. Yeah, that's any fighting on Showtime. It's only a little card on Showtime, prospect card on Showtime. Everything else is either not
Yeah,
on TV or on DAZN or some shit.
yeah. I think L said we got a Showbox card this weekend, so
Yeah,
maybe they fighting on Showbox.
yeah. I'm thinking, but yeah, shit. We've been in the hour. We've been on the hour. We shut it down.
Okay. Hype said the Lomachenko fights Haney, he won't need any sympathy rounds. He'll do Haney just like he did Gary Russell. I think the dynamic of that fight is different though, man. Gary Russell is just so fucking small, man. About 5'4", and you got
Yeah,
somebody that
dude.
Hyphy just don't have no respect for Devin Haney.
Yeah, that matchup. Come on, his link by himself changes the dynamics of that fight. So I mean, come on, man. It's not a comparison. The only thing that's not a comparison. I don't even see the two being the same.
Napoleon said he can be Marlo, but he fights different in different fights. But I noticed he has never been in with a power bully.
Oh, okay.
Hyphy say both the Zone and ESPN have good cards this weekend. He didn't say great knock them out the park cards, but they got some good cards this weekend. I still ain't fucking with the Zone though, man. I just don't like a motherfucker acting like they can strong go on me or something, man. I just got too much pride for that shit. Eric R said, I'm mad as hell. I think DraftKings shadow banned my homie after I told him to put our money on Colbert upset. Triple G ain't showing up on the app. I was going to break the bank. Let me read that shit again. He said, I'm mad as hell. I think DraftKings shadow banned my homie after I told him to put our money on Colbert upset. So y'all didn't get paid for the big upset. Y'all should have got about 12-1 odds off that shit too. He said Triple G ain't showing up on the app. I was gonna break the bank. Oh, he said he gonna take Murata over Triple G. I saw somebody else that said that too, man. I had read an article. I can't remember where the fuck I was reading it at, but yeah, I didn't see like 2 people that say they feel like Triple G gonna lose that fight. So I won't be surprised, man. But we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. Come back with something, man. Y'all be on the lookout too. I keep on saying it, man. We got this Uncle Nephew cartoon that we putting together for Earl Spence versus Ugas. You know what I'm saying? So y'all be on the lookout for that. We're gonna have some fun with the shit. Who want to go first on the panel? Go ahead and shut this.
I'll get it out there, man.
Go ahead, bro.
Well, appreciate y'all once again. You know, on Slow Week, we got a little bit of fights going on, but love the boxing talk as usual, man. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah. What about you, Voice of Reason?
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Appreciate the chat, everybody staying engaged, and you know what I'm saying. Hope we enjoy this slow weekend of boxing and look forward to the what the sport got to offer us in the coming weeks. Y'all be good. Y'all be easy. Peace.
Already. I'm gonna read these few couple of comments. Hyphy say Colbert is worse than Broner. At least Broner fought back against Maidana. It seems like when it comes to the slick type fighters, you can go like I know we always say Mayweather, but I just say Mayweather just to make it quick. Or you can be like a Devin Alexander, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't just be like a straight cutie. You got to have a little bit of nastiness in you too, you know what I'm saying? For right now, it looked like Colbert, the book is, if he in a dog fight, it's going to be tough. And that's what they were saying about Devin Alexander, like when he fought against Sean Porter, when he fought against Timothy Bradley, you know what I'm saying? They were saying that, hey, the motherfucker's not good in a dog fight. And that's why I had picked Aaron Martinez to beat the motherfucker too. It looked like that's what's going on with Colbert. If you get him in a dog fight and he can't just be a straight cutie the way he want to be, he going to have some problems, you know what I'm saying? Eric Ross said, shit, we got paid, ching ching. But they ain't putting that fight on the app, though, goddamn. Well, shit, at least y'all got y'all 12-1, bro. Raymond Knight said, yeah, that would be a fun stream. I don't know what stream you're talking about, but if it's involving us, man, we hope that you pull up and shit. If you haven't already, hit the like button for us on the way up. And we're going to see y'all this weekend, man. We're going to do something. You know what I'm saying? We're going to come and chop it up or something this weekend. So we're going to get with y'all.
Hell yeah. Hey, yeah, appreciate y'all, man. It's always fun coming to chop it up with y'all. Shit, I forgot what I was going to say. It slipped my mind. It's that gas, though. But appreciate y'all, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. And shit, until next time, don't forget to tell them haters and trolls, the fuck out my gym.
You heard him.
Peace.
G.